Imagine a simple meal, a bowl of beans, a few pieces of roasted squash, a handful of corn tortillas, nothing fancy, no exotic superfoods, no complicated recipes. And yet, in a small peninsula of Costa Rica called Nicoya, this very combination is part of why people there are not just living to 90 and beyond, but doing so with incredible strength, clarity, and vitality. When researchers travel to Nicoya, one of the world's famous blue zones, they don't find miracle pills or cutting-edge technology. They find gardens, family tables, and a tradition that has been quietly passed down for centuries. They call these foods the Three Sisters: beans, squash, and corn, and when you look closely at what they provide, you start to realize why they are so powerful. Beans are the anchor. They're rich in plant-based protein, giving the body what it needs to build and repair, without the inflammation that often comes from heavy animal proteins. They're packed with fiber, which doesn't just help digestion, it feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which then produce compounds that reduce inflammation, boost immunity, and even affect your mood and brain health. Imagine your gut like a thriving city. Fiber is the food that keeps the population healthy and working together. When you eat beans consistently, you're nurturing that inner ecosystem, setting the foundation for long-term well-being. Corn brings energy, but not the fast, spiking kind you get from refined sugars. It's slow, steady, and full of nutrients, like magnesium and B vitamins, that keep your cells functioning properly. In Nicoya, corn isn't ultra-processed. It's often prepared through a traditional method called nixtamalization, which makes its nutrients even more bioavailable. This process transforms a simple grain into something deeply nourishing, giving the body clean fuel for movement and vitality. Then there's squash, the vibrant orange powerhouse. It's loaded with antioxidants like beta-carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A, vital for immune function and eye health. Its natural sweetness satisfies cravings without sending blood sugar on a roller coaster. More importantly, squash brings a balance to the meal, a soft, comforting texture, and a wide array of anti-inflammatory compounds that protect cells from damage over time. The magic isn't in any single food though, it's in their synergy. Together, these three provide a complete spectrum of amino acids, a wealth of vitamins and minerals, and a harmony of complex carbohydrates and fibers. They form a balanced, sustaining foundation that the human body thrives on. This is why the people of Nicoya don't just live long lives, they live active ones. Imagine being 85 years old and still walking to visit friends, tending your garden, laughing with your grandchildren. That's the reality there. Contrast that with many modern diets filled with processed foods, sugar spikes, and isolated nutrients from supplements. Our bodies were designed to work with whole complementary foods, like the Three Sisters. They don't just feed us, they teach our physiology how to operate smoothly, like tuning an instrument until it plays perfectly. It's easy to dismiss such a simple meal in today's world of packaged promises and quick fixes. But simplicity is its power. A bowl of beans, squash, and corn represents more than sustenance. It represents connection to nature, to tradition, and to rhythms that honor the body's design. When you slow down, prepare these foods with intention, and share them with others, you're not just eating, you're participating in a lineage of health that stretches back generations. The lesson from Nicoya is clear. You don't need wealth or complex strategies to reach 90 with vitality. You need consistency, balance, and an appreciation for what real food can do. Each bite of these humble sisters is a reminder that the extraordinary often hides in the ordinary. And if three simple foods can shape the lives of an entire community, imagine what they could do for yours. Imagine something so simple, so ordinary, that it's often overlooked: a bowl of warm, cooked leafy greens, spinach, kale, collard greens, chard. Nothing glamorous, no hype, just leaves you can buy for a few dollars at any market. And yet, studies show that people who eat even 1 cup of cooked greens a day have a dramatically lower risk of dying in the next few years. Just 1 cup. That's not a miracle. It's the power of giving your body what it's been craving all along. In regions of the world where people regularly live well into their 90s and beyond, like the blue zones, greens aren't treated as a side dish, they are a daily ritual, a cornerstone of every meal. Why? Because leafy greens are like a biological repair kit. They're rich in compounds your body uses to fight inflammation, repair cells, and keep vital systems running smoothly. Inside those leaves are nutrients like vitamin K, which strengthens your bones and prevents fractures, folate, which supports your brain and mood, and antioxidants like beta-carotene, which protect your cells from damage caused by stress and aging. Think about what happens in your body over time. Every breath you take, every bite of food you eat, every stressful moment you face, creates tiny sparks of oxidative stress, microscopic wear and tear on your cells. It's like rust slowly forming on a car. If you don't counteract it, the damage builds. Leafy greens are like a rust remover for your body. They neutralize those sparks, protecting your heart, your brain, your eyes, and even your skin. There's also something remarkable about the fiber in greens. It doesn't just pass through your system, it feeds the good bacteria in your gut, the very microbes that influence everything from digestion to immunity to mental clarity. A healthy gut microbiome produces anti-inflammatory compounds that ripple through your entire body. So when you eat greens, you're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding an entire inner ecosystem designed to keep you alive and thriving. People often ask, do I need to eat them raw for the benefits? The answer is no. In fact, lightly cooking greens, with a bit of healthy fat, like olive oil, actually makes certain nutrients, like beta-carotene, easier for your body to absorb. That's why traditional diets in long-lived cultures often include cooked greens in stews, sautés, or soups. A warm bowl of collards, simmered with garlic and a drizzle of olive oil, isn't just comfort food, it's preventive medicine disguised as dinner. I once met a man in his late 80s from a small mountain village where life expectancy is among the highest in the world. When asked about his secret, he smiled and said, "I just eat my greens." To him, this wasn't a chore or a fad. It was as natural as breathing, and that's the point. Longevity isn't built on extreme measures or expensive supplements. It's built on small, consistent habits, repeated over decades. Imagine your future self, decades from now, walking with energy, thinking clearly, enjoying time with loved ones. That vision begins with the choices you make today. Adding a cup of greens to your meals might feel small, almost insignificant, but it's a powerful vote for the kind of life you want to live. 1 cup a day, simple, affordable, profound. The path to vitality doesn't always come in grand gestures. Sometimes, it comes in the form of a humble bowl of greens, quietly rewriting the story of your health, one bite at a time. Imagine holding a bottle of olive oil in your hand. It looks so simple, just golden liquid in glass. But what if I told you that inside that bottle is one of the most powerful tools we have for protecting the heart, preserving the brain, and extending life? For thousands of years, cultures along the Mediterranean have treated olive oil not just as food but as a way of life. They drizzle it over vegetables, dip fresh bread into it, and finish their meals with it, like a ritual. These are the same cultures where heart disease rates are dramatically lower, where people live longer and healthier lives, and where vitality continues well into their 80s and 90s. Modern science now confirms what tradition has known all along. This liquid gold holds the key to profound health benefits. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats, especially oleic acid. These are the kinds of fats your body loves. Fats that don't clog your arteries, but instead help clear them. When you replace unhealthy fats, like butter or processed seed oils, with olive oil, something remarkable happens inside your body. Levels of harmful LDL cholesterol drop, while protective HDL cholesterol rises. Your blood vessels become more flexible, your heart pumps with less strain, and your risk of heart attacks and strokes begins to decline. Imagine each drop of olive oil as a gentle repair, soothing the lining of your arteries and keeping them youthful. But olive oil goes beyond heart health. It is packed with polyphenols, natural plant compounds, with strong anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Inflammation is at the root of nearly every chronic disease we fear: Alzheimer's, diabetes, arthritis, even certain cancers. Over time, uncontrolled inflammation acts like a slow, silent fire, damaging tissues and aging us from the inside out. The polyphenols in extra virgin olive oil work like firefighters, cooling that hidden fire before it can destroy the structures of your body. The benefits extend to the brain as well. Studies have shown that people who regularly consume olive oil have sharper memories, slower rates of cognitive decline, and a lower risk of dementia. These compounds cross the blood-brain barrier, protecting neurons and even improving the way brain cells communicate. Picture yourself in your late 80s, still able to recall names, solve problems, and share stories with your grandchildren. A simple daily habit, like including olive oil, can help make that future possible. The key is to choose extra virgin olive oil, cold-pressed and minimally processed. It should have a fresh, slightly peppery taste. That peppery sensation at the back of your throat is proof of the powerful antioxidants inside. Use it daily, drizzle it on salads, finish cooked vegetables with a splash, or replace heavy sauces with a simple mix of olive oil, lemon and herbs. Even 2 to 3 tablespoons a day can transform your meals and your health. It's fascinating that something so simple could create such profound change. But perhaps that's the beauty of it. Olive oil reminds us that longevity isn't about complex routines or expensive supplements. It's about consistent, meaningful choices that honor our bodies. Every time you reach for that bottle, you're choosing to nourish your heart, calm the fires of inflammation, and protect your mind for decades to come. A single drizzle may seem small, but over a lifetime, it can shape a future where you not only live longer but live better, with energy, clarity, and joy. Sometimes the most powerful medicine doesn't come from a pharmacy. It comes from the earth, bottled in gold, waiting to be part of your story. Imagine for a moment that you're sipping a warm cup of tea on a quiet morning, or biting into a handful of fresh berries, or slowly savoring a square of dark chocolate. These simple pleasures might feel like small indulgences, but inside your body something extraordinary is happening. With each sip and each bite, powerful compounds are flowing through your bloodstream, repairing cells, calming inflammation, and strengthening the systems that keep you alive. These compounds are called flavonoids, and while they don't get the same attention as vitamins or protein, they are some of the most powerful allies your body has in the fight against aging and chronic disease. Flavonoids are natural plant chemicals that act like tiny warriors. They protect plants from damage caused by the sun, pests, and environmental stressors, and when we consume them, they do the same for us. They neutralize unstable molecules called free radicals, which otherwise damage our cells and accelerate aging. Over time, this microscopic damage can lead to heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. In other words, flavonoids work silently, behind the scenes, to keep your body's systems balanced and resilient. Recent studies have shown just how powerful they are. People who consume flavonoid-rich foods daily, like tea, apples, berries, and dark chocolate, can reduce their risk of death from any cause by a significant margin. One study even found that moderate flavonoid intake was associated with a lower risk of heart disease, cancer, and inflammation-related illnesses. These aren't obscure foods reserved for health enthusiasts. They are everyday items you probably already have in your kitchen. The difference comes from making them a consistent part of your diet. Consider tea, whether it's green, black, or herbal. Tea is one of the richest sources of flavonoids in the world. A warm cup in the morning or evening can do more than relax your mind. It actively supports your cardiovascular system, improves blood vessel health, and even enhances brain function. Berries, with their vibrant colors, are another powerhouse. Blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries owe their deep hues to anthocyanins, a type of flavonoid that has been linked to sharper memory and lower rates of cognitive decline. Even something as simple as an apple can deliver a steady stream of these compounds, helping to regulate blood sugar and protect against heart disease. And yes, even dark chocolate plays a role. High-quality dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao, contains flavonoids that improve circulation and support heart health. The key is moderation, a small piece enjoyed mindfully, not a whole bar eaten in one sitting. Imagine finishing your dinner with a square of dark chocolate, knowing that it's not just a treat, but also a step toward longevity. The beauty of flavonoid-rich foods is that they are easy to integrate into your daily life. Swap out a sugary drink for tea. Add a handful of berries to your breakfast. Keep an apple in your bag for a midday snack. These aren't drastic changes, they're small joyful rituals that compound over time. Flavonoids remind us that the line between nourishment and pleasure doesn't need to exist. A simple habit like savoring tea with friends or enjoying berries on a summer morning can be both deeply satisfying and profoundly protective. Health isn't built in a lab or found only in a doctor's office. Often it's found in the quiet choices we make, day after day. Every sip, every bite of these foods is a message to your body. I choose vitality. I choose resilience. Over years and decades, those messages add up, shaping a future where you not only live longer but also live better, with strength and clarity that radiate from the inside out. In today's world, we are surrounded by quick fixes. There's a pill for every symptom, a supplement for every concern, and a promise on every bottle that it will somehow make us healthier, stronger, and more energized. But if we pause for a moment and look at the bigger picture, we realize something powerful. True, lasting health has never been about pills. It's about principles. It's about the daily choices we make with the foods we put on our plate. And this isn't just a nice idea. It's a truth supported by decades of research, especially from the longest-lived populations on Earth. Across the globe, there are rare places called blue zones, where people regularly live into their 90s and even past 100, not just existing, but thriving, walking, gardening, laughing with friends, and remaining mentally sharp well into their later years. When researchers studied these communities, they didn't find a miracle drug or a secret supplement. What they discovered was even more remarkable. These people live by simple dietary principles that anyone anywhere can follow. The core of these principles is plant-based, whole foods. Think of fruits and vegetables bursting with color, whole grains like oats and brown rice, nuts that provide healthy fats, and legumes such as beans and lentils that deliver protein and fiber. These foods work together like a symphony, supporting every system of the body. They lower inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and create a thriving gut microbiome, tiny organisms in your digestive tract that profoundly influence your mood, immunity, and energy. Take beans, for instance. In every blue zone, from Okinawa, Japan, to Nicoya, Costa Rica, beans are a daily staple. They're inexpensive, versatile, and loaded with fiber and plant protein. Eating just 1 cup of beans a day has been linked to a longer life expectancy and a lower risk of chronic disease. Whole grains, too, are often misunderstood in modern diets, but they are packed with nutrients and release energy slowly, keeping blood sugar steady and reducing cravings. Nuts, despite their high fat content, are one of the most protective foods for the heart and brain. A small handful each day can reduce your risk of dying from heart disease by up to 30%. Contrast this with the modern heavily processed diet. Ultra-processed foods are stripped of nutrients and loaded with additives, salt, and sugar. They create inflammation, disrupt hormones, and damage blood vessels over time. The result is the epidemic of lifestyle diseases we see today: heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and even certain cancers. These aren't random or inevitable outcomes. They are direct consequences of daily choices, compounded over years. The empowering truth is that you don't need a radical overhaul to change your trajectory. Start by adding, not subtracting. Add more vegetables to your meals. Swap a soda for water or tea. Replace processed snacks with nuts or fresh fruit. Over time, these small shifts rewire your taste buds, strengthen your body, and reduce your dependence on quick fixes. Think of food as information. Every bite sends a message to your cells, telling them either to heal and thrive or to struggle and decline. When you consistently choose whole, plant-based foods, you're sending a message of vitality, resilience, and longevity. Imagine a future where you're not relying on a cabinet full of pills, but on a plate full of vibrant, life-giving foods. A future where your energy is steady, your mind is clear, and your body carries you effortlessly through the decades. That future isn't reserved for a lucky few, it's built, meal by meal, by the choices you make today. True health is not found in a prescription bottle, it's found in the quiet, powerful principles of nature's foods, waiting to transform your life from the inside out. When we think about health and longevity, most of us immediately focus on what we eat. Food is powerful, yes, but it's only one piece of a much larger puzzle. The truth is, living a long and vibrant life isn't just about the nutrients on your plate, it's about how you live. When you eat, who you surround yourself with, and even why you wake up each morning. These factors might seem less obvious, but they are just as crucial as diet when it comes to shaping your health and extending your years. One of the most fascinating lessons we've learned from the world's longest-lived communities is the importance of timing. Many of these people naturally follow the rhythms of the sun. They eat their biggest meal earlier in the day and have a light dinner, often finishing their last bite well before sunset. This pattern aligns beautifully with our body's circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs everything from hormone release to digestion. When we eat late at night, our body is winding down, and instead of focusing on repair and restoration, it's forced to digest. Over time, this mismatch can lead to weight gain, poor sleep, and even an increased risk of chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Simply shifting dinner to an earlier hour and allowing the body to rest overnight can be a quiet but powerful way to improve health without changing what's on the plate. Equally important is connection. In many long-lived cultures, meals aren't just about fueling the body, they're about nourishing the spirit through community. People gather around a table, share stories, laugh, and feel a deep sense of belonging. This isn't just warm and fuzzy sentiment. Strong social bonds have been shown to reduce stress hormones, lower inflammation, and even protect against dementia. Isolation, on the other hand, is as harmful to health as smoking several cigarettes a day. Think about that. The simple act of sharing a meal with friends or family could literally extend your life. And then there's purpose. In Okinawa, Japan, they call it ikigai, which roughly translates to a reason for being. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, it's known as plan de vida, a plan for life. It's the idea that waking up each day with a clear sense of meaning has a measurable impact on both mental and physical health. People with a strong sense of purpose tend to have lower rates of depression, stronger immune systems, and a reduced risk of premature death. Purpose fuels resilience. It gives us a reason to keep going, even when life is challenging. Imagine combining these elements. You eat dinner earlier, allowing your body to rest and repair overnight. You share that meal with loved ones, laughing and connecting deeply. And you wake up the next morning with a clear sense of why you're here and what you want to give to the world. That's not just a lifestyle. It's a recipe for vitality. Health is never built on food alone. It's built in the harmony of our daily choices, in the timing of our meals, the strength of our relationships, and the depth of our purpose. When these elements come together, they create a life not just of longevity, but of joy, connection, and meaning. Living to 90 and beyond isn't about merely adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years, one intentional choice at a time.